Good evening. Hello, hello. Let's see. Is the microphone good? Where am I? Test, test. There we go. Okay. If I didn't get anything wrong, then the podcast is starting in about half an hour. And we are doing some testing right now, seeing if everything works. Let me grab okay. I assume that Dolphin is going to stream on his Twitch. But I have the Twitch linked. It's in the description. So it should all be fine. Very good. Okay. So let's see who's here. Let's test the chat. You're late? No, you're not late. I'm early. I'm just doing a test run to see if everything works. No worries. Yeah, I hope so. I hope everything is okay. Connection says it's good. My connection is sometimes a little bit wonky at this time, so it's kind of a hit or miss. But let's hope for the best, I guess. Okay. Hi, Steven. Okay. Let's squish out the notification on Discord. Okay, there we go. So, welcome to the warm-up show. Hey Anubis! Hello. Hello. How are you guys doing? So the important part is this probably goes a little longer. How do I manage to sit down cozy? I said cozy and not so I got my blankie. I totally forgot. I totally forgot that I don't need to have a game running. So I can have everything on my main monitor. Perfect. So guys, what have you been doing today? No, there's no in-game podcast. I'm cozy now. There is we have to survive to the final circle. And then we chat. Well, then I have the most time talking, I guess. Hi Zari. Hello. Good evening. Nat, did you do your homework? Did you think about a lot of good things for all the for all the headlines, for the points? You did? Dang it. You were supposed to say, no, I'm winging it. You were supposed to make me feel better about myself. That's okay. You didn't want to look bad? Of course you're winging it. Okay. Whew. I had a little bit of a hard time thinking about a tier list because I actually just go for the same 3 dinos and ignore the rest. So my tier list is 3 dinos. So 3 dinos are S tier and the rest is like just trash. We'll figure it out. Dear. Oh no. No. I can't tell it now. You have to wait. I can't spoil you. It's spoilers. It's on YouTube. That's why I send out the alert. So what you're saying, I should send an alert out into my YouTube channel? Or change the title of my YouTube? That's a good idea. Thanks, Poser. You have changed my title? I don't think so. Perfect. Perfection. I'm almost certain that Dolphin is streaming it. Not sure if Ice is streaming it, but Ice was streaming. Is he still streaming? Yeah, he's still streaming. So he might be streaming it as well. Wait, do we all fit in your kitchen, Poser? Feel like that might be a little bit tight. So I hope you guys are not mad if I won't react to chat that much once the podcast is actually running. No what, please? Is this an animal you put on your burger? Type of slug, okay. I mean, I was never impressed by British food. Hi, kitty. Have a kitty cat here as well. Talking about a cozy stream. So how's my microphone? I try to position it extra smart. Is that okay? Sounds perfect, good. I don't know what a gherkin is. What is a gherkin? Help me figure this out. What is a gherkin? Does he mean Gurken? You mean Gürkchen? Do you mean Gürkchen? That's how you write it. Gürkchen. Doop, 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 doop. There we go. Okay. Why would you call it Gherkin if it's Gürkchen? Gürkchen is such a cute word. I mean, it's like the cute little version of Gurke. Gürkchen. Gürkchen. I need to teach you how to pronounce Gürkchen. Then you can show off everywhere. So it looks like we're on point, and the rest is gonna be a little bit late. That's okay, we can talk about Gürkchen. I should put like a image of like a Gürkchen just on the screen. What do we need? Kühne Schlemmertöpfchen? Is this something we can excite people with? Download. Let's go full in with a Schlemmergürkchen. We make it, we put it on the screen and we make it very small, so it's not. Okay. You prefer cornichons? Yeah, cornichons are nice. Okay, let's see. Downloads. That's a little big. We make it small. Sponsored by Kühne Schlemmertöpfchen. One secco. I'll be right back.
but let me type to him. Let me just attack him if he wants to jump in at any point.
I unmuted you guys, so just that you know.
Hi stream. Hi chat.
Hi everyone.
Oh, I'm gonna start it in like 5 more seconds and just go with it. Oh, you say you're streaming it too, right, Aurora?
We started streaming like what 40 minutes ago to test everything.
Okay.
And talked about cucumbers. It was wild.
Are you streaming it on Twitch or are you streaming on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube right now.
Okay.
You're not tired, Tia? Be tired?
A little bit, but that's okay.
You were up since last night. Like I went to sleep, woke up, and you're still on.
Well, no, okay. I woke up, watched your stream, and worked a little bit while you were streaming, and then you played V Rising, and I watched you V Rising, and then you went offline, and then I started streaming, and then I stopped streaming, and then you were online again.
Have you two heard of that game, V Rising?
The critical acclaim MMORPG, yeah?
Vampires? Natural, have you?
I know of it. I've never actually watched any gameplay on it or watched.
I see.
You should have seen Icebox destroying people.
I did enjoy play. I did enjoy play that game. That game was a lot of fun.
I just kind of ran out of content.
Yeah. This is like every survival game. If you don't keep putting content, people are gonna stop playing your game. That's the problem with survival games. They need to treat it like an MMO, a live service. They just need to constantly be putting content. Otherwise, you lose your player base.
It also had PvP in it, and it had servers, but you couldn't transfer to a server. So kind of like imagine ARK without transfers. Your server would just be owned by one tribe, and people would just want to leave.
Oh, so we're gonna start with the episode 2 of the Roundtable podcast. With me, I have them switched around. I have Icebox to my right. Natural causes in TiiaAurora. Do you guys want to? Natural causes. You're new.
Oh, I get to be Icebox today. Nice.
You get to be Icebox for a second until I fix it. Do you want to do a quick a quick introduction for those who don't know who you are here on the live stream and on YouTube?
Hi. Natural Causes are mainly on YouTube for 100-day modded videos, but recently on Twitch been streaming lots of survival of the fittest, like way too much of it most likely, but it's been good fun.
Whatever you're welcome. Do you wanna give a quick introduction?
My quick introduction, I'm Tia and I'm teaching people how to play ARK in German and in English.
Yeah, she streams on Twitch and YouTube. YouTube videos teaching people how to breed. And you've been playing Survival of the Fittest since they first Survival of the Fittest too as well.
Yeah.
Did you get to try the first one, Natural?
I wasn't around when it first released, but I did host like the modded version of it where I had like 100 people joining for a single game, and that was good fun.
Okay.
Does
so
it
people
work
had to land and pick a spot to go craft like that style. Yeah.
How does it run with like 100 people? Because I have like bad memories from like the Naughty versus Nice, like the 4 FPS matches.
There was one tournament. Yeah, there was one tournament where they did a 200-man tournament, and no one could move.
Oh man.
We had to wait until people died or DC for actually be able to play. Yeah, it was crazy. And it was like money tournament too, right? Were you on that one, Icebox? Because it was.
I only think it's Naughty versus Nice.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea. Yeah, how was it like running with 100 people? Like, was it laggy or?
On the new one, that was very laggy. I hosted one on the old SOTF revival mod, and that with 100 people, that was fine. Like people had no issues there. There was no lag. But on the new version, the battle royale version, Icebox, because it was his event,
Yes.
it did not go well.
No.
Half the people they've even got given cinema crops.
Half the
We all just
people
fell out the quets.
fell out. And they all landed on one area.
Okay. Well, I guess that's why there is a limit on the official version, how many people you can put in there. Maybe that's why.
Yes.
Eventually, we might get Nutty versus Nice at the end of this year, hopefully. Assuming how popular SOTF with the console version, which drops in 3 days, right?
I mean, technically for making stuff like that, they just need to like let us adjust the tribe sizes, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm assuming we'll
Tribe-
get a new map. Go ahead.
Tribe size is hard coded to be limited at 4 people. You can't get around that at all at the moment.
Let's find someone who changed the hard code.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the. So, what do you guys think about the new supply drop? Which supply we got recently? I think 2 weeks ago, last week. It's like now it has this. So, for those that don't know, there's a new event that happens in SOTF where a balloon drops down with a giant cage and has a chance of dropping a Reaper, a Mantis, a Below, Carkino, and a Roll Rat. Right? Oh, yeah.
I've yet to see the Carkino.
So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the new supply crate?
I really like it. It's a new point of interest people get to fight over. I think there should be more, actually, than just one after the first ring closes. I think there should be at least 2. But I like the idea. Like whoever came up with that was smart.
Yeah, I think when I first heard about it, I was like, huh, that's a pretty cool idea. One thing I kind of think that they need to change is, especially with the later dino drops, they still all drop as a level 0, and later in the game it's not worth going for certain dinos because having to level them up while everyone already has like a big army of tier 3s, you die so quickly on those dinos, it's almost not worth going for them.
Yeah. Go ahead. Nathan.
I agree with like what Icebox is. Like it's a really cool new point of interest that you can go for, and it realistically could be a potential game changer in that, like, say you don't find a dino that you want at the start, and then the drop ends up being close to you. Although in that same breath, the people who get the dino they want at the start and already have it at tier 3, they are more likely to just be able to steamroll everyone off of that dino drop and just get the new dino for themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think my issue with it is like it drops only one, like as I was saying, because if it drops 2 or maybe 3 at the beginning, then you have like more like less people go fight for it. Because I had many matches and it was like 10, 15 people would just try to go for it, and we'll just all lose our armies just trying to get a
And it dies. Like no one
And
gets
it dies, yeah, and no one gets it. But if they spread it out, I think it'd be a much more interesting late game, right? And yeah, the late game crates is just like really not worth it. If they came out at like maybe level 1 or 2 at the like final circle, then might be worth it. Because that could change the match, right? But that also depends on what dino you get. Like so far, I've only been able to play with the Reaper, which is extremely OP right now. The Carkino has been a lot of fun because the Carkino can jump and you can shoot for the Carkino, right? And you can break rocks with the Carkino with your pike. You can literally do everything from the Carkino, and it's amazing. It's just that it has less HP than the Reaper, and it can die very quickly, but you can just get away by jumping, which is amazing.
I got thrown out of the circle with the Carcino yesterday, but I was on a terror bird, so I just flew back in. That guy did not see that.
The car,
wow.
grab and throw is amazing.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, it's exactly like the Carcino from like just Operation. Just they didn't even nerf it. I think they just gave it low
wow.
HP and just it's so good.
I
The
haven't
roll
seen
rat
it.
though. Have you any of you played with the roll rat yet?
No, I've seen it. I haven't
I
used it.
I saw a roll rat in my stream hit by Dillos. Hit Dillos straight forward, and it didn't even kill the little Dillo. It didn't even do damage. It just doesn't do anything right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good.
So what you're saying is you rather want to possess a Doet than having a roll rat?
That'd be cool if they give the Doet the roll rat ability. Like just like make it roll faster. That'd be really cool, right?
I mean, Doets are pretty strong right now.
I remember too.
Have any of you guys ever had like a tier 3 Dode in the final center?
Yes.
I've not.
I did.
It's amazing. Like really is just amazing, because the one game I ended up as a Dode and that's all I had, but it was a tier 3 Dode. So I just rolled to the center of the circle. And once you get down to, I think it's around 50% or 25% health or whatever it is, it goes into its ball mode. And at that point, it just, from a tier 3 Thala, it starts taking like 4 damage. It just does not take any more damage. They were flame arrowing me, trying to use Thalas
no
to beat
damage.
me.
And when you heal,
it does not die.
You
and you heal it as well.
Yeah, when you heal, then you out heal. Also, well, I out healed 3 tier 3 Spinos jumping on me. It was hilarious.
Wow.
To the point where they stopped fighting.
Yes, they stopped fighting and then they ran away because they got so annoyed by me.
I'll keep that in mind next time I use that.
Honestly, yesterday when I played, when I saw a Doet, I just tamed it and left it somewhere in case I die, so I can just possess it.
It's pretty cool. Have you guys tried what's the other 2 dinos? What about the Below and the Mantis?
The Velo's strong. Like if you can get it rank 3, it'll melt anything in the turret mode.
Did they nerf it from the normal game?
I don't know.
Well, in the normal game, in official servers, they're capped and they're like extremely powerful. But because these things, you don't see the damage as much. But I'm assuming Survival the Fittest, where there's like no lag compared to official servers, it's like, I'm assuming they're very OP. I haven't had a chance to tame one. I've been told like level 1 and 2 they just have very low stamina, but level 3 is really strong. So there's that. And I have used the Mantis, and the Mantis comes with the sword every time you. Sometimes it bugs out, doesn't have the weapon.
The sword doesn't break the rocks. I tried.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh.
Just it would be nice if you could break rocks.
What about you, Natural? Because have you used the Mantis yet?
I haven't had a chance to get the Mantis yet. Every time I get there and it's a Mantis, it's typically killed by the time that I'm like it's able to be tamed, and then people just kill it off.
It dies quick. Do they take increased damage to fire?
Yes, because it's a carnivore. Yeah. Only herbivores take really damage. Yeah. It's because everyone just goes for it. There's like so many people try to get it, but because everyone's fighting around it, they just kill it by mistake a lot of times.
I like how it spawns with swords. How they were able to code it somehow for it to spawn with swords.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty. I would love if they give us the option to change the Mantis weapon to make like pikes or clubs. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, imagine clubs. I mean, we don't have torpor, so it's like less fun. But imagine if we had torpor, then you had a Mantis with clubs.
And there are like so many options with things like the Mantis, for example. Like eventually, when they add the skins, hopefully when they add the skins, I can have like change the skin of my Mantis weapon. That'd be really cool. I can just show up with a candy corn. Trying to like club people.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. And there's the rock elemental. Have you guys had the chance to use the rock elemental yet?
I had the
No.
chance to almost die to one. If that counts.
Gone
I have-
against it.
I've had it, and it just got shredded by like 3 people on Thalas with rocket launchers.
Yep.
Oh no.
It dies quick to
So-
rocket. I think half its health
I-
with one rocket.
I had it
Yeah.
to level 3 in one match. And literally I one-shotted people on foot with the rock. It did more damage than the Megapithecus boss, the monkey boss. Literally more
wow.
damage throwing rocks, yeah. It was literally like the boss, the way it's supposed to be.
What the
And
heck?
I just kept throwing rocks at people and like it just dodging rockets. I was like,
That's
okay,
funny.
I'm good. It's great. I love it. I love the rock elemental, which is might be a
I think
little
it's good.
yeah, I think it's a good spot.
I
I just
think-
wish that the monkey balls did the same thing.
I think the strongest right now is the Reaper. Because
Yeah.
Sure.
the plant is kind of hard to come by, the counter to it. Where you can get rockets and C4, I think easier than the plant. See? Why?
That plant's
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only thing that counters the Reaper. And if you don't have that, then you lose.
and sometimes I had situation which I threw plant C at it and just didn't even debuff it. So I was very sad about that.
You should add like flashlight attachment, which debuffs.
That'd be cool.
They should add.
Or look, just
They gotta add light pets around.
type it.
I could just add the charge lantern, Just,
Oh, give me a charge lantern, please.
Oh,
this is so sweet.
no.
Wait,
Like seeing
Dolphin.
charge lantern,
Dolphin.
all the dinos. Yeah.
Dolphin, didn't you charge lantern in Natural Causes defense thingy?
did.
Wasn't it? I remember you running around
We're
with a
not taking
charge
damage.
lantern.
They were not taking
Yeah, you
damage
used it on-
because yeah. So in Natural Causes stream, I used charge lantern. It was very fun to use charge lantern, but because the way charge lantern is like a percentage damage, people with low HP, which is human players, they don't take that much damage, but they get stunned in place, so they can't move. So a lot of the guys are like, "I'm taking no damage, Dolphin," but then they couldn't move, and I was like, "Oh, there you go, surprise!"
yeah. I was so shocked when I saw this. I was like, what are you doing? What is he doing with the charge lantern? Because I didn't know about the bleed or the stun or whatever. It's like, why is there a charge lantern?
Yeah, you see him using that on official wars.
I
The
have seen
charge
it in
lantern.
streams since, yeah.
more like a troll weapon. It's like I get people make fun of me every time I use it on official service because it doesn't do anything and it does something. It's like it just because people use I&I in official service, they didn't see the actual effects of it. But when you don't have I&I, it completely blacks out your screen. Which now they fix I&I. Next time I use it, people will notice the actual damage of the charge lantern. But it blacks out your screen and like it stuns you and dismounts you, and it's like a range bleed that stops the bleed the moment you stop using it. So it's not like a normal bleed when like continues bleeding. It just stops the moment you stop using it. It's pretty fun. I can see it being in TSOTF really good, but might be too strong because you can just like hit every dime at the same time. I don't know.
Hmm.
I love to have it. But so moving on to that. So what are you? We haven't the last podcast we had. SOTF had not come out officially. So now that it's been out for almost more than a month, almost a month. What are you guys' thoughts overall of the whole game in general? This new revival of Survival of the Fittest, especially if you play the old one. Like, what are your thoughts overall? Like Icebox, I know you played it original. Like, how do you compare these to the original Survival of the Fittest?
Oh, how do I answer that? It's the biggest thing is the entry to play is a lot more simple, which is what they were going for. Compared to the old one, the old one was a lot more difficult. Just knowing you would have to know ARK to play it pretty much. And in this one, you can just tell someone that's maybe never played. All you gotta do is land, kill this creature, and then just farm tokens, and it's a lot more simple. What's another question?
Well, so like comparing it to like the old one, there's no guns on this, right? And I think that's one of the main
Yeah.
complaints I heard. Do
I
you
miss the
find it?
guns. I miss
Miss
the
the guns?
guns so much. Right now, I mean, if we're on the question of what we like and dislike about it, I dislike that there is not so much of a skill ceiling. Like right now, it's like you pick a spot and then you tame something and you kind of farm for 25 minutes, 30 minutes tokens until you have this army, and then at the end you just clash into another army by left clicking them, and there was like, it's very different from the old one. The old one, people used to tame maybe 2 Rexes max, or 3, unless you're talking the tournaments, then they tamed a lot, but it was a lot. There was a skill behind that. If you saw them with guns and Rexes or Spinos, that's kind of the skill ceiling. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a little more strategic in that term. Like well, I'll jump into my opinion. What about you, Natural Causes? Like, what are your thoughts overall to its new game mode?
I mean, for me, like I'm definitely not a PvPer at all. I barely even play shooter games, but I've really been enjoying SOTF, and I agreed. Like there could definitely be a higher skill ceiling to it. Like 100%. I think a very underutilized mechanic at the moment, but I have a feeling this is just due to lag, is the RTS mode. Like I think if that was more optimized, it would be a lot better and help with that difference in skill ceiling that you're talking
I
about. Like
agree with
those who are good at the RTS mode, they could potentially use it to like bring in like your allies. They're not great attacking head on, but if you can get them to go in the back line, then you could have them attacking from behind, you know. And I think it was you, Dolphin, who tweeted this, but allow them to be control groups, so you can like easily swap between the different tames you have, like whether it's your Yudi or your Daedon or whatever, like, or give your creatures with abilities like the Yudi, allow you to use RTS mode, say, okay, courage roar now, you know, and you could pretty much play it as like a pure RTS, would be able to increase that skill ceiling while still fitting the style they want into. And yeah.
I
I
guess
think that's the current. Go ahead. Yeah.
I guess I have like a little bit of a different opinion. Because back then when SOTF was, well, okay, let's say it was not very popular anymore, and many people have stopped playing it. And that was when I started doing my community tournaments to keep the player base up and also to introduce the game to new players. We did our beginner games where we would teach people who had no idea about PvP and who had no idea about SOTF. We would teach them the game and would say, for example, we do rounds now and there is no fighting until mid, so you learn the crafting and you know how everything works, and then we meet mid and then you can fight. I can tell that the game, like, people got the hang of that. Like, people managed to do the crafting most of the time and then would meet mid and would fight, but as soon as you would put those people into like the normal matches where fighting and crafting was a thing, especially when crafting was at popular spots, because there were like just the handful of spots where, you know, people were crafting, and the good players, they would just like jump from spot to spot and would just like kill everyone, and then you would have like the same 5 or 10 people in mid. I think the way it is right now, it is so much better than it was before. Like before, you had like I said, you had the same 10 people. They would learn on they would learn the presets where dinos would spawn. They would know, they see a dino and they know there is a Rex at this spot, there's a Rex at this spot. And as a new player, you had no chance to even like get fresh into the game and learn it, because everyone already knew all the dino spots, everyone knew how to get stuff. And that kind of ruined the game, especially in the end when like the stuff with the presets became public. I think that ruined it, even for like the rest of people who might want to have gotten into it. They just couldn't play anymore because people already knew what to go for. And I think the way it is now, it is so much better. It gives people the chance, even though we have like the spawn spots where stuff spawns. But right now you can just go there, and there is like a randomness of how many dinos you have. Like, for example, the Amagas, they are like super randomized over the map, and you have like this surprise and random effect every time you join a game. So I think it's so much better right now, especially for new players, and even for experienced players it's better because they have a new game every time they join. They don't have to go for like the same, I don't know how many presets it was, like 5 or 8. They don't have to go for the same presets, because I would imagine if I would learn those presets, I would imagine it's super boring to play like this. And we saw it. There was like 30 players left in the end that would play. So I think they did an amazing job how they improved the game and how they made it like more accessible for new players, and also how they made like they made it replayable, or better replayable, even for experienced and for new players.
Yeah, I agree. I
I
like the idea. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Icebox.
No, I like the token system and just how simple it is for new players to get into it. I think and that's the things I like, and the RTS mode actually like that is like the skill ceiling, is knowing how to control your groups with the RTS mode and heal them through that mode, and then in a team fight or a fight, knowing get the advantage by maybe shooting a rocket into their army first, or planting some C4. There is still strat in play. I think right now there's just nothing to work towards, though.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah.
We need a goal that's like overspanning like the whole game, for like that we know why we go into the games, not just because we want to play.
Yep. There's no progression. There's no reward for winning, or I'm not farming some kind of in-game currency for placing high in the games, or even a score somewhere that shows how many wins I have.
Even something as simple as adding Steam achievements could be a really cool way to keep people motivated to keep playing.
Yeah, true.
Say,
Yeah.
100 wins, win a game having one of each creature alive at the end, you know? So it's like you got to win a game with having a compy, you have to win a game having a Terrabrid, and you got to get a win with every single one of those teams. Like that make for a really interesting challenge for people. It's like, how do you win a game without going for what is S tier? You know, or just like even getting the set amount of 100 wins, 1,000 wins top deal. And heck, bring out a battle pass. Let people buy skins. You know, it's like
I
make your
actually
money
seen
back
that,
on this project.
I have a crazy
I've seen that
idea.
comment. Go ahead.
We should give people a Tech Giga skin.
Yeah, there we go.
What, for having 200 wins?
So
That's a good
That's a
idea,
great
Icebox.
idea.
That's a great
They
idea.
They still owe me that. Yeah, they still owe me that. So I seen the comment about the battle pass thing that you mentioned a lot on Twitter. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'll come back when they add a battle pass. I think I agree with Icebox what you guys said. There needs to be some kind of reward or progression, like all the battle royale games have like a battle pass, or they have a leaderboard, or they have like achievements where you can just actually see. They give you the illusion that you're actually progressing, right? Maybe so you're playing the same
Yeah.
game every time.
Or seasons,
Right.
just seasons with exclusive skins for those seasons.
It took a very popular game, Spellbreak, on release, like 3 million player base. That game died and actually got deleted completely. They stopped working on it and removed all servers. But why? Like, it took them 9 months to get some type of matchmaking or like some kind of progression. 9 months. They had it on console. They released it on console. They had a battle pass, but like the really good skins were locked behind, money. You had to pay $20. There was no really nice skin in that game. But when it comes out on console, patching is gonna take longer because now they have to get it approved on every console. So that's kind of
do we
why
know?
they took a long time.
Do we know it's gonna be crossplay on release?
Yeah,
on
that's
31st?
that's what it seems like.
They haven't advertised it very well at all. I think that has also been like one of Wildcard's biggest downfalls with this so far. Is their advertising for the new TSOTF has been non-existent.
I think they hinted
I'm-
in the last dev stream. I think they hinted it that the Switch version is going to be crossplay. I think there was a hint towards it, but I honestly, like, when the announcement happened with TSOTF, it felt like it was an emergency announcement, like they needed something, because they didn't even have like a trailer. They just reused like the old trailer. It was like they had like an hour before the stream started to get something out, and then it was like the trailer. To me, it felt, at least it felt
People
like
say
that. Yeah, it felt
They're
like
this trailer had guns in it.
I mean-
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Got the Sieve as well. I got the Sieve. So overall, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
I've been playing every day. I haven't even touched normal.
I know
ARK
you've been playing
since December. Yeah. So
I see you playing.
my issue is, like I said, like you guys said, there is not a real skill ceiling. There's like things you can do, but like in RTS mode, but it's so hard to do because they have the dinos stack, so there is no collision in your ally dinos compared to like normal ARK or the old one. So it's like sometimes all your Spinos go hit, but they all them get hit by one dino because they're all stacked. They all take the same damage compared to like normal ARK or SOTF, where because of collisions you can spread them out. So I would love to have collision on enough sometimes, because that way I can actually properly control dinos in RTS mode. Because right now,
Welcome,
I want to
Toast.
grab. Hey, welcome, Toast. So we're talking about what our thoughts are overall with the new survival of the fittest. But before I jump to, let me finish my part. So like, if they give me the option to turn collision on and off, I can actually spread my dinos and actually manually select that one Kentr stuck within my army, so I can pull it out. Because right now it's so hard to like micromanage in RTS mode. Pull dinos out, pull dinos back, pull them, bring them back to the front, and it's so hard to do because they'll
Yeah.
stuck on each other.
it just
Right.
needs one
And, like,
rhino.
What those? There you go. And
One
and
round of charge it in, destroys the whole army in a
the
single
whole
hit.
army because they're all stacked. Exactly. That happened to me a few times too. And yeah, I would like to see some guns and have them balance them properly. But I understand maybe that's just not the route they want to go. If that's not the route that you want to go, then you need to like DLC pretty much every dino, because right now there's a lot of left clicking. and the few dinos that have abilities, they're just very strong, right? Because they overpower dinos that have not had DLC since 2015. Right? Because you have the Aloe hasn't had a DLC since 2015. So all you can do is like left click an Aloe. And yeah, that's a bleed, but barely does anything, right? So things like
Yeah.
that need a lot of work. But so tell us, what are your overall thoughts on this SOTF compared to the old one? Because I know you are former tournament champion. You won multiple SOTF
it's
tournaments,
like
so you have a lot of experience with the old one. So what are your thoughts with this one?
Um,
Mhm.
it's so hard to explain.
Yep.
Yeah, I
They have the
loved
same
the old
pots.
one. I actually loved it, man. It's where I actually started gaming, like hardcore, because of tournament money. And then they released this. This is a great idea. I understand why they can't add guns to the game because of the current state in ARK, but I feel like they could have gone the old path and kept it the same mentality, same skill cap, and just improvise it a little bit. So add the new items in normal ARK to this SOTF.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, left clicking on a dino, you can only do so much. You know, without a leaderboard, without something to grind and make the players want to play more, it's eventually going to die out. Hopefully, they will add all of this, but we will see because the play rate has dropped a decent amount over time.
I agree.
That's very. I agree. I agree completely.
I mean, with
Yeah.
the leaderboard stuff, I also have like something. I suggested them to add after action reports to at least for server hosters or server owners. Like, let's say, for example, when Icebox is doing a tournament, that he gets after action reports. And from what I understood, they are very open to add those, like when you want to do your own tournaments. And we already started working on a portal where you can feed in the after action reports to make your own, basically your own survivor league if you want to set up your own your own sweaty TSOTF grind.
So moving on to that. So what do you guys think of since this new game mode came out? What are your thoughts on how they can make this more appealing to new players? Because that's the main goal, right? How do we make this more appealing to new players without having going too hard into the old SOTF? Because as much as I love the old SOTF, I don't think we're ever gonna get that back. So
No.
how can they make this more appealing to get more people in without, you know, without getting people bored? I guess.
I have one word, or I have one idea that would help immensely, and that's skill-based matchmaking. Don't throw beginners with people into one round or in one match that are like playing this game 24/7, and also which will also help the better players that they are facing people who are actually like their skill level. So make it more challenging for them and also make it more accessible for people who are not that good in the game.
I think honestly, at this stage, really just they need to do some advertising. It's like it sounds silly to say, but like it's very difficult to even offer skill-based matchmaking if you just simply don't have the player base to support it. And they need to just boost up their player numbers a bit to get people who are here to play SOTF to get them to start playing SOTF. And the way you do that is you need to start advertising, getting in that fresh influx of players, whether it's by hosting a tournament, like doesn't even have to be for money. It could just be a tournament for bragging rights, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. and you just start building up that player base of people interested in the game, and then from there you can then start doing like the matchmaking and developing all these things to expand further than that.
I agree.
Yeah, I am my opinion. They just need to go for the play already. Just go for the play, especially with console release, because consoles are gonna get a different. It's just gonna pop up on the PlayStation or Xbox store as a whole different game, as a whole different download. So it's like, hey, let's go. Like, just make it free to play and get the player base going on, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that would be interested in learning this. And I also want them to add a tutorial mode. Like the moment you start TSOTF tutorial mode, and there you go, explain the basics of survival of the fittest. The same way they do in the introduction videos that they had recently before the game came out. These are the new features. This is how you play. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take, it just wouldn't be that difficult, I suppose.
Don't they have something similar? They have a
were
video
pl-
out already
They have a
that
video
kind
out,
of
but
shows.
yeah, and they could have if
shows
they
it.
could even have that video, like it's like just
They just
in the tutorial. Yeah,
just have that video, but more detailed.
exactly. Because that's the one part if you want people that never play ARK to play Survival the Fittest. They just need to understand. You need to show them some of the basic mechanics, even though they have simplified this a lot more compared to the old one. They just need to like explain it, because people assume that I'm 5 and I don't know how to play this. So yeah. So what about overall? We've been playing on the island the whole time. We've been playing on the island for like many years now in the our old ARG, and now also TF, now new TF on the island. So what are your thoughts on a new map? Should we have a new map, or and if there's gonna be a new map, what kind of mechanics, what kind of like systems do you want to see? What kind of biomes? Like if someone comes up to you, Natural Causes, right now from Wildcard, and Natural Causes, we want you to give me a design idea for the new map. What would you tell them?
I think definitely like the logical choice is to move on to Scorched Earth next. And you could potentially have like the different how Scorched Earth has these weather events with such as heat wave, electrical storm. I'm sure there's a way you could implement that into SOTF where you have different zones around the map that become, call it a heat storm or whatever, and then that's a way to sort of like force people away from that specific zone to fight in, and like you have different challenges that come from that location and such. So like different active events around the map just to make it that little bit more entertaining, you know?
Kind of like the old uh, events they used to have in also TF, kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Okay. What about you, Xbox? What are your thoughts if like they come up to you, like give me ideas for new map?
Yeah, I like Scorched, and since your character doesn't rely on food anymore, like food or water, the heat from Scorched won't matter. So just the map design, different, but just bunch of different drops. It's a whole new map layout. I think it would be very simple to implement, having random spawns maybe with certain dinos, and yeah, it would be simple to add Scorched or any other map, maybe a smaller
And
Ragnarok.
oh, like you mean like a Scorch area and a Ragnarok area within the same map, or just everything Scorch?
Um, I was thinking everything Scorched, but then I was also thinking like Ragnarok, but maybe Ragnarok's a huge map, but you can shrink it with the ring. You can just put a certain open map like with the. I don't think the current ring right now, like what's the size of the island in Ragnarok? How many islands can fit on Ragnarok?
A few.
Like it's about
4, I think.
4 islands on Rag.
4
on
islands?
Rag.
Islands on
Is it that
Yeah,
big?
4 islands. Yeah,
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Damn,
drag is huge.
I forgot it
So-
was that big.
Speaking of map, I don't like RNG, man. I don't like a landing, and at the same time as another player. And if the other player is, I don't know, lucky, he can get a better tame than I can in the same amount of time. So for my map, I wouldn't even go with any of the island or Ragnarok maps. I'd do full new map where you could have each biome. Like you'd have the desert with the desert dinos, you'd have ice with ice dinos, Yuri, Rhino, etc. And you'd have redwoods and some other biome. I'd say 4 biomes, or you could have more, where you would put, dropping down from the Quetzal, the how do I say this? Like the farther away from the Quetzal would be the best dinos, and the closest would be like the deers, slow mobility dinos. So you could farm some points and then slowly go to the end of the ring and then come back with like a big dino. Which because I don't like the
Mhm.
RNG of like landing on a Karcha and boom, your entire game is taming the Karcha, go level it up, and then go mid and pray you don't get flame arrowed. Yeah,
that's the current one. Karchas or Giga,
yeah, Karcha.
and then people know where Thylas are. People know where Rhinos are.
Yeah.
People know where all the Spinos and tame 17 Spinos at one day before XP during the XP increase.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you,
Um,
Aurora? What would you ideal map would be like?
I would probably go completely crazy and would go either like stuff like, I don't know, Genesis 2, or make something in space or make something underwater. Just make it different. Just make it fresh, make it exciting, interesting. Even though I'm not sure if right now it would be a good idea to split up the player base even more on different maps. I think right now that would probably be a bad idea. But I would probably go like completely in like a very experimental direction.
I do like the idea of splitting the map in different biomes. Like if I was them, I would just take from like, I don't know, Fortnite, for example, has like some crazy, really crazy mechanics where like, yeah, they give me a space section, give me like a, you know, volcanic area, or desert area, right? And all those areas have a specific kind of theme. So every time the circle, because now we have the circle, right? So if the circle happens to end on the desert area, hey, I could go for desert dinos right away because I'll be safer around the circle. But if I'm a little bit close, the circle's closer between the desert and volcanic, I could just go for volcanic kind of dinos, right? Because we have those choices now over the past 8 years of development. We have like fire types, volcanic types, we have like desert type dinos, ice type dinos now. So they can just make that map that just like has all these different elements. And even a space element would be really cool where like, I don't know, like just do a mini game where I can just go really fast in space and just get to the other point, right? Or even like jump pads placed on the random areas of the map where I can just like, if I only have one dino, I could just use a jump pad to go really far, right? Things like that, little things like that that just add this like new element to survival of the fittest that they're just not adding, right? Like zip lines, for example. There's like random zip lines in the game, right? In the map. I can just, if I have a monkey, I can just use these zip lines to my advantage. Like just take advantage of some of the disabilities the dinos have and add those elements into the map that I can take advantage of, right? Like a baryonyx, if you have like a river-like biome and the circle happens to enter in that area, I can take advantage of a baryonyx because I have more water to stun people. Things like that.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of a scorched earth. Maybe they might just do a scorched earth because they already have that map. But we'll see what happens.
I kind of want to go back up the question with the. I think that's an important one. We didn't touch too much on is what do you consider SOTF needs to add or to make
Did it skip down? Yeah. So what do you
more
consider?
appealing.
Yeah.
Like, what would we want to appeal more? Not to new players, but even just the current players playing it.
What would you like as well?
The big one that I kind of did my research on was, if you take a look at Fortnite, their matches till the ring closes to the very end and everyone starts taking damage. That match takes 20 minutes. If you look at Apex Legends, their match takes 25 minutes until their ring completely closes. Other games like Spellbreak and Realm Royale were also 20 minutes. PUBG is also about 20-25 minutes. If you look at SOTF, it's 37 minutes. That's a very long match. And I mean, you've been playing all the time, Dolphin. You land, and the games are so slow. If they can speed the game up, drop the timer from 37 minutes maybe to 30 minutes or even 25, yeah, that would be a whole new rework on the ring. Maybe not closing as fast, but the time that it closes faster. But that means they would have to increase how fast drops land, which is what I brought up to Jet, which said he was a good idea, and then they somehow actually added rings dropping 30% faster, the supply drops. That's in the patch. The supply drops land 30% faster, which they did add, which speeds up the game. But the game match is still 37 minutes, so you're still farming tokens for 30 minutes, and it's just really slow. And I think reverting the old XP where when your tier 3 dino was 100%, or was tier 3, then killing creatures would give other creatures 100% of the XP, reverting that, making XP the one where you have to pay 40 tokens to give your dino XP. It used to take, in the last patch, it took like 3 buys to get your dino ranked up. Now it takes like 6. It takes a lot more.
It depends on the type of dino too. Like smaller dinos can be leveled up quicker.
Yeah. So speeding up how fast dinos are to counteract how fast the games would be if now matches are 25 minutes. That means they would have to increase the XP that a dino gets, but also keeping in mind not to make it so people get 15 tier 3 Spinos. Kind of like nerfing that a bit, because that was the reason they got reverted, was people were complaining about people having 10 Spinos, 10 Rexes at the end of the game. I think that's what I would really like, is just a faster gameplay. Just a faster pace, because right now it's just too slow.
I think with the game speed, we also need to. I mean, we already talked about it. I think there, you see, like in this, you see like the difference between experienced players and not experienced players. Because I would not call myself like a PvP player, and I think the games are not too long. I'm always like very rushed in the games, and I'm often like just so close dying to the ring because I just don't get the stuff done I want to get done, and I just don't get stuff leveled I want to get leveled. So
what if they increase that? Then you'll get the stuff done.
I still would.
If they reverted the XP, but then you're being greedy, because then you want to be more, you want to go get more and Rexes, and then that's when people lose track of the ring, because then now they want to go farm for a Rex.
I mean,
if things are increased.
I mean, I've been seeing a lot of like I've been playing like a lot of solo games, and I see how many people keep dying to the ring. Just, I mean, sure they could be just AFK, right? But I don't know. I don't feel like in a game where you actually have to like go for tame stuff and then level stuff, even if it's like quicker, that we can compare it to a game where you basically just drop loot and run and shoot. because like let's say in stuff like in games like Fortnite, you don't have to like put any effort into like upgrading stuff. You just go loot and run to the next place, loot, and there's like no commitment you have to do for something.
No, people still farm. People still have to farm 1,000 resources for each resource: wood, brick, stone. Apex. I've played Apex, and those games they feel like they last so long, even though it's only 25 minutes. If you're playing competitive, the ring takes a long time to close. But I'm comparing 37-minute match. And again, the only thing to counteract was just be increasing how fast you get XP.
Yeah, I also think the matches take too long. There's a lot of times in which I have my army fast enough, but I find myself, oh, there's still time to farm tokens, and I find myself farming tokens for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm like, let's go, like close the ring faster, because like once you have like a strategy and you have like a rhythm and like what you want to do, the matches
Mhm.
feel longer now for me. Like before, I was struggling, right? But now that I have like an idea of what I want to do every match, now they feel longer, and and they are longer compared to the old battle royale was like 20, 25 minutes. I'm just sitting there farming tokens. All right, let's fight. Let's go. Close this closer. So
Is it
what do you do?
is it
Go ahead.
I have a question. Is it maybe also because right now passive play is like so much stronger than actively going and hunt people, because instead of farming tokens you could like very well also go and fight people? Is it like because
Well, right.
passive play is like too strong right now, like you lose more when you fight?
There's no benefit to fighting at the moment, like, because you end up losing your tames, and yes, you can tame their tames, but then you're paying a lot of tokens that you don't have because you're fighting, you're not farming. So I agree.
True.
Like
Yeah.
passive players,
Yeah.
it's very rewarding to just. That's why Thalas are so tamed, because people can just tame a single Thala and then just run around for the entire game until they get to the final 4 people, and then just pick off the rest with the combo.
No,
And
then they run into Dolphin, who's been farming for 30 minutes with his 5 tier 3 Utis, just fearing the Thalas, and the Thalas have no chance.
True.
Yeah.
oh
So
yeah,
there-
typically by then he's with your 5 tier 3 UDs, you've gone up against the other guy with 4 tier 3 UDs, so you only end up with 1 left.
True. True.
So there is, I totally agree. That is one of the biggest thing that's annoying me right now. This every time I take a fight, I feel like I lost the game, because even if I win that fight, I lose so much time, and I lose so many tokens, and I trade so many dinos because I decided to take that fight. The other guy maybe is not with the same mentality. I'm just gonna fight because that's what you want to do, right? You want to fight in the game. But when you take that fight, because the game is so based around tokens, and if you lose those dinos, now you have no dinos, and now you just wasted all those tokens, and now you have to start all over, or just have to move on with the one dino you have left.
You
And
can't
now
actually
you're
start over. It's so
yeah,
difficult to start over.
and it's so difficult, yeah. So there's like no way, it doesn't feel rewarding to win a fight right now. Early game, mid game, maybe late game, when you just pick off people that aren't just like a Talio, like for depending on what dino you get, right? But right now, even if I get that token buff, it's like what 120 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't
So
have any
even if
tames to kill with it, so you end up not
yeah,
being able to
exactly.
make
This
use of it.
I can't take advantage of that token buff because I have to either retame. I have no dinos left, or I have only one dino left, and what am I gonna do? Like I barely every time you kill something, you barely get any. It doesn't feel like you're get. It doesn't feel rewarding.
It's like 2 more tokens.
Yeah, it's like 2 more tokens. It's like and because you have 120 seconds, I spend maybe 60 seconds looking for things to kill, right? Because I already had cleared that area, and I just had a fight with a guy that also cleared that area, and now I have to move, and then maybe I have like 30, 40 seconds left to maybe take advantage of that buff. It's like, nah, it's not rewarding. I don't know what you guys think overall about that, like the whole token buff, token reward. Like how do you guys feel about
Just
when you
buff
take a
it.
fight?
I think it needs a buff. That's it. Maybe double it, double how much tokens you get. So right now it's
Oh.
20%.
Also, I feel like when player teams get knocked out, when they're player teams, not wild, the invulnerability timer shouldn't be 2 seconds. It should be 10, 15.
5 seconds or 10.
Yeah, maybe there, because get knocked out once you're on Dino while you're still fighting, and then you end up killing your dinos by mistake. It's just not good. Or the enemy kills them, because it's just a fiesta,
Mhm.
basically. It's just RNG.
Oh, okay. Okay, so like an invulnerability buff, you knocked out dinos. So like when you win a fight, you can actually bring your dinos back.
Bring your dinos back, right? They're not all meat run, like within 2 seconds of going down,
Yeah.
because they take extra damage. So yeah.
What could also be a nice change is like if you kill someone and you take out their team, you get their tokens.
True. This is 100% I agree on.
You get their tokens and everything in their inventory.
Yeah, like I think is it fixed where you can get their loot? Did they fix that?
Yeah, you
yet?
can. Yeah, they fixed that. You can get the loot back now.
I have a big
Yeah, so
backpack.
you
such a
get the loot
struggle.
and get their tokens. Or if say they have one tame left, you get half their tokens for them losing their character, and then the rest go when the entire team dies or something like that.
Or you take 25% when you kill a player that belongs to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and increase the buff as well. Maybe the duration or just how much. Because right now it's 20% increase in tokens when you have that buff. So maybe
Yeah,
up it
I'd
to
rather have the
30%
duration
or
increase
40%,
than
or increase
percentage.
increase the duration.
Yeah, those are pretty good ideas. Yeah.
Would you like the game to be sped up though, Toast?
Yeah, I think like you said 37 minutes. It isn't actually 37 minutes. It ends up being 47 to 50 minutes, right? Because you have joining the lobby, waiting for the lobby to fill, which is basically 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, true.
You need to calculate this. And
I
then
didn't calculate.
yeah,
I didn't
Calculate
calculate
it.
lobbies.
and then the 37 minutes, right? So it ends up being almost 1 hour, give or take.
Just to
for
play a
one
match
game.
that you're
That
not
is,
getting anything from.
yeah, it's just super, super slow.
Easy, die early.
Yeah, true. Die early, go next. Also,
God.
I was hoping, and I messaged Jeff about this, to add the bow to the starter. Like when you drop down, you should start with
just
a
have
bow instead of the slingshot, because slingshot is basically borderline garbage. Doesn't register, doesn't hit. It's just bad. A bow,
Yeah,
however,
I've never used a slingshot. I'll rather just use spears.
Exactly. Like if you're contesting a hot drop, like let's say North is super popular because of UTs, right? And somebody lands on the drop with you, and he somehow takes the drop first. The odds are he's just gonna tame something faster and kill you. You're basically lost because you didn't take the drop or like fast enough because you couldn't press R. So having a bow, if you have some skill, you could be able to kill the player that took the job instead of basing it on RNG on who got the job first. Or taming a dino because you both have access to
Yeah,
the
I like that idea.
Yeah.
People I see people dying the tame, like just wild dinos super easy
Super easy.
when the game starts, and it's because they probably don't have a drop. They're stuck with a slingshot, and they don't know how to maybe craft a bunch of spears, and
Exactly, yeah.
at least new players can be like, oh, I have a bow. Okay, I can just shoot. Yeah, I can just shoot this wolf or mammoth now with a bow. It's a lot easier.
But I
And I
have.
also think. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead because I had like a question to something else.
Also, the bow, it will make it more fast-paced action instead of spearing dinos, right? Because you drop down with a bow, you have an option: go for a drop, go for tames, or kill players if you want.
You're like in a tribes of 4, and you guys land together as 4, and you have a bow. You guys can quickly just shoot out a Rex.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think the reason why they didn't add the bow at the beginning is because they were afraid the TSOTF when you could get a bow in the first 10 seconds. But because everyone dropped in the same area, it was a lot easier to pick people. But because it's a circle now, everything's spread out. There's less chance
Exactly.
of like Bobs getting killed at the beginning. So yeah, I do like the idea of a bow. Maybe they should probably definitely they should add it. Just have it as an option, you know.
Yeah.
So with that, go ahead, Aurora. I think you had a question.
Yeah, I was I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think? How should they fix like this really forced passive play? Because I think it's super annoying. Because I would love to like in the game even I would like to go and pick fights early on. Like I'm probably the one dying always like super early because I just keep hunting players, and that's not a good idea. But it's just like I don't know. It's just like how I want to play, and like what's your idea? Like I thought about maybe having something like, you remember the old SOTF matches where you had the player beams in the middle of the night when you could see the beams of all players where they are.
So,
Maybe something like that where you see like where players are, and then you're like more encouraged to just like hunt for players.
Well, I think we covered that a little bit. Regarding like when you take a fight. I think the best way for them to encourage a fight is allowing us to recover from the fight. Because right now, like I said earlier, even if I take any fight right now in the game, it feels like I lose because I lose all my tokens, I lose all my dinos, I have no way of getting the back. And like the buff does not last long enough, like I said, to do anything with it. So a lot of times I'm like have a situation which I could chase someone. There's been moments in the game in which I kill their dinos.
Mm.
I kill this player's dinos, but then he just happens to just keep running away, and I'm like, he just jump over a hill. Do I want to jump with my dinos or keep farming tokens? And I just don't bother chasing that person because I just rather go farm tokens.
I mean, I had it like
That's it.
super often, let's say in like solo games or in like even in duo games, where you had like where you had like 3 or 4 armies just like walking peacefully next to each other towards the ring because nobody wanted to fight each other, and I'm like, okay.
yeah, but
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead, Des.
it's the passive play. It comes down to, if you take a fight, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You both lose as long as the other guy, like whoever's not taking the fight, um, just doesn't go in. That's what I mean. Like by taking a fight, your dinos are gonna die. By the time you win that 1v1, um, you don't have the points to bring your dinos back, or your dinos are dead because they die too fast. They're not invulnerable, and the other guy already wins. So if 4 armies are alive, nobody's gonna fight until somebody makes a mistake.
But that sucks.
That's
Yeah.
well, that's in
Yeah.
battle royale. That's battle royale.
That's battle
Yeah.
royale. Yeah, sure. They should reward. I mean, I don't know how much they want to go this path, which is rewarding hunting, because it was a big issue in the old SOTF where it, it kind of died out.
It was a big issue in SOTF because it was more static. Here's like everyone is just moving around. Even if you're farming tokens, you're still moving around, right?
Yeah,
And
true.
SOTF is like very
Yeah.
static. So hunting play would be really fun because you're not longer static. Everyone's just moving around now.
I mean, they
Yeah.
said in the I don't know if it was in the announcement or in one of the early patch notes, they said they do not want to have passive play, and they want to patch or like develop the game towards making passive play less rewarding than actively playing. So I hope they do this fast.
Yeah.
One way you could maybe potentially deal with this single dino situation is every time you heal one dino, its cost increases to heal that dino. So like those who using the same Thylacoleo for the entire match, by the time they get to the final round, they're going to be having to spend 1,000 tokens, just arbitrary number, 1,000 tokens to heal their dino because they've only had this one Thylacoleo the entire game. And just like have those costs gradually increase. Doesn't have to be extreme, but just enough that you want to not be putting all your eggs in one basket, sort of deal.
Well, well, that would benefit more the guys that take my data on, because then you don't have to worry about spending tokens for healing right now.
Yeah, that is a thing, but I mean,
There's a
again, they want to incentivize the whole army feel, so that
yeah.
incentivizing a Daedon incentivizes an army.
Oh, make Daedon tick down your tokens when it's healing.
No.
That would suck so much.
I should suggest
I
that.
mean, it makes sense. Daedon
So-
would instantly go from S tier to F tier.
Oh God, no. So, let's trying to get to the end
We're
here.
on the
So
dinos. What needs to be improved?
yeah, so well, we can make both questions. So like right now, when it comes to like all the dinos right now, all the dinos are in the game. Like what needs to be improved to make this game over? Because obviously they're not adding as many guns as we would like them to do. So if they're not adding guns right now, uh, what do you guys think need to change when it comes to like what needs to improve when it comes to the dinos?
Pathfinding.
Pathfind?
My dinos
Better
get stuck
pathfinding.
everywhere.
That's the holy grail since 2015.
I feel like every tree and every stone is so sticky that every dino just like glues to it when it sees it. It's like so annoying. Especially, I tried to make like Kentros viable, but Kentros have like this thing where they just see a tree and just run into it and then just stay with the tree, and you just realize it later.
Yeah, your best bet is running around with your pike and destroying
Yes.
the rocks as you get close to them.
That's all
That's
you
what
gotta
I
do.
do pretty much. Yeah.
You gotta make a clear path. Is this question like more dino balancing?
Yeah. I'm like
What needs to
more
improve in
like right now
dinos?
is like when it comes to like the
Needs to
dinos,
be
yeah.
added.
Just dino specific. Because in
Right.
my opinion, for example, for me, they just need to make tiny adjustments that they sound very technical, but I think they will improve the game. For example, turning radius on dinos, they need to be a lot faster. Because like I'm not sure if you try when
Yeah.
RTS mode, when you try to move a Spino, the Spino does a whole U just to get back to you. And it's so
Yeah.
wide, and it's like, and then you do a mammoth. Mammoth's like really fast. He turns really fast, right? And you can micromanage a mammoth in RTS mode very quickly. So there's like certain dinos in which I would love them to adjust turning animation radius. So it's a lot easy to control, a lot easy to whistle. And like I said earlier in the beginning, it's like collisions. I need to have an option to turn collisions. So like when I have a fight, my dinos will spread out instead of being a stack. Like little things like that, and just give the dinos more abilities. Right now, there's a lot of left clicking, like you guys been saying. There's like the skill ceiling right now does not feel like there's the skill ceiling, because a lot of times you're just left clicking with Spino or Rex. And it's like, okay, there's not that much. I can get behind the guy, but that's really the skill. You were just dancing in circles sometimes. So, is there anything specifically like when it comes to like the dinos that you would like you guys see improve or change?
One thing I might is it has nothing to do with skills or of dinos, but when your dino dies, like you get stuck on your dino, and most of the time you're dead before you even hit the ground. Like I'm not sure how they would improve this, but maybe make the player invulnerable before he hit the ground, until he hit the ground, so you have like kind of a chance to at least do a little bit of foot PvP before you get chomped on.
Or do you just increase the armor?
Oh yeah, a lot of times you're just flooding when you all you dinos are dead. You're flooding in the corpses.
Mhm.
It's like,
Floating on
okay.
the corpses and you can't do anything. And then that usually the Spino that kills you.
Yeah.
They're just with two hands and juggling you and you die.
Yeah, I definitely think like the armor for the characters just It's not even useful. Its biggest use is protecting you from the zone more than the dinos.
Yeah,
Yeah, it feels like armor that
that's
just
true.
does not do anything right now. Either they need to give us like variations of the armor, where it's like Ramchackle, Apprentice, Ascendant. So it's like maybe foot, going on foot.
He added a
I can
shield
survive
and
longer.
even the shield breaks in like 2 hits.
Or make armor stronger against dinos, but like same or weaker against like foot PvP. Because I had like a 5-minute fight against someone in armor with a bow, and he at some point he just locked out because it took him too long. Like, I don't know, I feel like on foot the armor with a bow, it's like slightly annoying. But when you're like against a dino, it's like useless.
Okay. Well, what
I
about
think the Yudi needs to be balanced a little.
No, don't touch the Yudi.
I think Yudi's
Udis are perfectly balanced. They're fine. Don't worry about the Udi. It's fine.
So what do you like about the Yudi right now, Xbox?
It's too tanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has too much health. That's it. Just scale the health down a little bit.
The fear shorter.
And even the fear is like the fear is insanely long.
It does.
The
It
fear
does
support
it does
dino
way too long.
that does more damage than like Rex's.
Rex.
It's great.
It has more health and damage than a Rex. Like a Rex is supposed to be the alpha, of survival of the fittest. Before they added the Gigas and Karchars, it was always a Rex. And now you just have a tier 3 Yudi that has the utility of giving dino buffs. It has a fear. It has more health, and it's tanky. It just needs It needs a nerf, or I think the Rex needs a buff, and just a slight damage.
I think the fear lasts too long. I got
Yeah.
fear so many times, but I got fear a few times, by someone at UT, and it's like, oh my god, it's still going. I'm going way from the circle. And it's still
Is it
going.
like I think it's 20 seconds or something, right?
Yeah, it's 20 seconds.
Yeah, so
Need to cut that by half.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gave him like a amount, like 15 seconds. I said cut it in half because it would be going from 30 to 15. And they did they went the percent route, and they like nerfed it by 20%, and it went down 5 seconds. It's still too long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If you're on a deer, for example, and you get one feared, you're literally going outside the ring for 20 seconds in a straight line. It's not fun. It's not productive. It doesn't get anywhere.
You can you can get far with a deer in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next topic, the big one that everyone is bringing up a lot of times on the all TSOTF discourse and all stuff like guns in the game. It seems that they're very reluctant, very hesitant to add guns. What are your overall thoughts on them just having guns in the game, like the fabricated sniper rifle, the pump action shotgun? I think we have or just new guns in general. Like, just what are your thoughts on just guns in the game? Like, should we even have them?
Can I answer that?
I can answer this, right? Hit scan weapons. They can never add hit scan weapons if the current state of ARK, right? We all know this. If you play official ARK or if you play unofficial or like small tribes, it doesn't matter. Hit scan weapons, it's pointless. It will kill the game. They can add variations where they can give you a long deck with shocking darts, for example, which travels, right? Tech bow with balancing, which also travels. It's not hit scan. But hit scan weapons, I think they should never ever add to this game.
Is the embodying problem or just?
It's just a spinning problem. They can't tell if somebody's cheating or not half the time. On ARK, sure there is detected cheats, and then you'd have a tournament, right? Let's say Iceblock does a tournament, or you do a tournament, and then how do you know if the person's cheating or not, right? because there is a lot of cheating currently, and it's growing over the years. So
Yeah. Oh, my
Is that
this was my suggestion. Um, when I brought it up to the dev was the main guns that that aimbot is more prevalent on is the fab sniper and like an assault rifle. If you add a long neck that has to reload and then make it so it's expensive to maybe craft the ammo, so maybe you can only have a few bullets. Nerf the damage so it doesn't maybe kill someone. You have to actually land a few. Pistol. I mean, it would be hard to. I think they should add a pistol still for a long neck with the hit scan. But nerfed, but not add the sniper, like the fab sniper or the assault rifle, because those would be aimbotted. Like, that was my suggestion.
I definitely think like simple pistols would be a really fun addition. Like it's always great to have like the mini duels with a simple pistol going up against someone, and long necks as well. I think could be really cool. Like, although I feel like long necks would contribute more to that passive runaway play style of Thylacolio users,
Yep.
etc. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always long neck's always been the most fun weapon for me to use. So
the people that are not aimbotting, there's that skill ceiling shooting someone
Yeah.
off a spino that's moving. That's very difficult to actually shoot someone off a Rex that's moving or a deer that's hopping away and actually landing that shot on them. That's satisfying.
yeah,
yeah?
But
I
since
go ahead.
consoles coming out, that's the thing that I don't think that's the reason they're not going to really add guns. Console, it's just a lot harder to shoot guns.
Well, doesn't ARK normal ARK have like aim assist?
I don't know.
I don't think so. It has no aim assist.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. Then I imagine it'd be really difficult on consoles. I still would love to see at least the long neck and like the simple pistol, like I said, because like they could just make the long neck reload animation longer. If you don't want it so people like use the long neck as a machine gun or like whatever gun, you just make reloading time kind of like the musket from Atlas. Not necessarily as crazy as the musket, but you can just make reload animation a little bit slower and like you guys said, just doesn't one shot players. It just like turns their armor, then you can just kill them off. Uh, but yeah, I like to see even if they don't add the fabricators, I would like to see new guns, not necessarily like a fabricated sniper, like unique gun for TSOTF, right?
I
would like
didn't
to
think
see those
about
kind of
what
things.
Toast said. I didn't think about like darts. That'd be nice.
Darts,
Insidious
Yeah,
projectile.
yeah, shocking darts. Shocking darts were really cool, right?
shocking darts are good. Dismount the player, and then you can run in. I don't know, maybe make the stun a bit longer. If you hit your shot, 7,
Yeah,
8 seconds instead
that'd
of
be nice.
yeah.
Back in Legacy, the chucking dart. Talk about the same chucking dart electrocutor player, right? That's the
Yeah,
game we're talking about?
the legacy 5-second stun followed by the 755 cop combo. Yeah.
755
Oh
compound.
God, you remember that one?
Of
Damn,
course.
that's a long. That's a long time ago.
755 long neck. I was so happy with that.
Yeah, it was like the meta near the end of Legacy was people would just come up to you with a long neck and electrocute you with chuck and dart, and you were stunned for 5 seconds. Switch to the combo ball and just finish you off. And it's like,
Yeah.
I like to see the chuck and dart come back, but yeah, that'd be fun.
And it doesn't kill the player, right?
No, it doesn't kill the player.
Yeah.
Just stuns them. That'd be really cool. That's things like that already exist in the game that just waited
Needs to
for
be
them to
added.
add it. Yeah, it needs to
And
be added.
I personally think they should not add guns for player PvP, but they should definitely add more options for when you are on foot that you can defend against dinos. So you have, like we talked about earlier, like the chance of a comeback. So you have something on hand where you can actually defend yourself. Maybe not against an army, but like against like let's say someone is like hunting you with a Spino, and you still have something viable to fight that Spino, even if it's like a tier 3 Spino. Because right now, if you have a tier 3 Spino and you're on foot, you're kind of screwed. So having something that gives you a realistic chance,
like a glider, for example. Would you guys like to say glider?
No, not to flee, to fight, to be able to fight, like less passive play, but more that you have the chance to.
The thing with the Spinos is its auto attack radius. The skill behind fighting a Rex is you can actually know its turn pattern and kind of kite it while fighting it.
Yeah.
And
so when the Spino goes on bipedal,
you can't do anything.
Yeah, because the Spino when it goes on
way to kite it.
Yeah, when the Spino goes on bipedal, its turning animation is really quick, so you can't really get behind it because you can just turn really fast. So it's like that's the main reason why you can't really fight Spino like that.
Yeah, but I think that we need like something that like fills like this gap from when you're on foot against a dino.
Increasing the armor of a player.
I would almost say something like a fabricated shotgun that does more damage against dinos than against players.
I don't know this. Can you flashbang Rex, like Rexes or Spinos?
No.
No.
You should be able. Not?
No, I think
And they don't jump off?
Anything that you can't net, you can't flashbang. I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes.
The current bear trap though does trap.
The bear trap does work, yeah.
Teams. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, maybe they make like
they need
more bear traps.
They need more bear traps or
maybe
flashbangs. Because the bear trap, there's a skill behind it. Because you can actually walk into your own bear trap, or your dinos can.
Yeah.
I tested it. I just wanted to walk over it and see if it worked that way. So,
I mean, one thing they did with I think it was the last patch or the patch before, is that they made compound bow way more common in drops. Like you have a much higher, you have a much higher chance to get compound bow. In my opinion, just get rid of like this stun prod, like just take it out. I have not seen anyone using it, or I feel like it just clutters the drops. It clutters the loot pool. Just take it out and put something else in there.
I think for me, I think the harpoon gun kind of cluttered. I know you can shoot underwater, but that's the crossbow.
Yeah.
Shooting underwater with a crossbow, they buffed the damage on it. The harpoon gun, not the net gun, but the harpoon gun.
Yeah,
true.
Harpoon doesn't feel worth it right now.
And it's expensive. And
how much damage?
I've actually used a couple times.
How much damage does the harpoon gun compare to a crossbow with the metal arrows?
Crossbow does maybe like 130, and the harpoon gun does like 230. And then the compound bow does slightly more, maybe 250.
Can I ask a question? How do you guys feel about net guns getting added to green jobs? In order, like, if somebody claims a Thyla, he can't just run over a foot PvPer, you know? Green job's there, net gun's there. You got
I think that's too early.
Too early?
A little too early.
I think it's too early.
It would be like bolas, kind of.
I think adding it to purple would be fine. Right now,
but
it's restricted to.
But
red, right?
Can you right now destroy net gun? Can you destroy the net right now? Because I saw people. Yeah.
You can.
No, it's 3 seconds where your dino's just stunned, or 3 or 6.
They added in sword. Does that not affect the net gun?
I tried it.
No, I tried it. You cannot cut the net. I had so many times when my UTs got netted, and I was like, "What? Oh God, I can't cut it. What do I do?"
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Dolphin. I don't feel too bad about it, considering how many UTs I've met in the past.
Well, I
in the
like the
past
idea,
days.
Toast, like maybe adding it to blue drops, so it's not like the
Yeah.
first drop you land on.
Yeah, the
Usually
second
it's
one.
like the second one, the blue one that lands, and
Yeah.
the other colors usually land at the same time.
Because there is some skill into it. You need to aim, predict where the dino's gonna hit, and then decide what to do. You want to flee or fight the guy off the
Yeah,
tank.
usually
Yeah.
if you're the one shooting the net, you're on foot, and then now they're on foot, and then you can have a chance a foot PvP
Exactly.
before they can have a chance to get back on their dino. And then if you know the game starts with bows, then people have bows, and then it becomes a bow fight.
How do you feel about adding more stuff instead of drops to when you kill wild dinos? Like having more random things being in wild dino loot.
Give an example.
Like, let's say armor pieces, more armor pieces. Like for example, I got armor pieces out of wild dinos before, but having like more random stuff being in like bigger dinos to kill them.
Yeah, I like that. I remember in one of the mods, like when you killed a Rex or Spino, it had like a vocal chili in its inventory. I don't know if
Oh,
you
that'd be
remember
cool.
that.
You know, like food recipes. I mean, we haven't talked about that either. Like, would you like to see food recipes? Like the
Yeah,
food
one
recipes being added?
I mentioned like the drops should maybe a drop should have that XP recipe, the one you get more XP.
Yeah,
Is
like
Oh,
when you
the
lit it,
broth.
you automatically eat it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Natural, because
The
Like
broth of
broth,
enlightenment.
right? Yeah, broth of enlightenment.
yeah.
But it makes you more visible on the map. I mean, it always needs like some kind of balancing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like if like Luna drop and it has a focal chili, automatically feeds me the focal chili. So have like that movement buff, right? Maybe. That'd be cool. Yeah. So, time to
Guess
get
we're
to
gonna
wrap this.
crossplay.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
thoughts on
crossplay.
crossplay?
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on crossplay? 'Cause, looking forward to it. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna? Do you think it's just gonna hurt development or just?
I'm
just
excited.
Whatever.
I'm excited for crossplay, more people, more players, and or let's say more people who are not stuck in the old SOTF mindset, but who are like excited to play. I think we really need a lot more people who are looking forward to play and who don't join like the game and are complaining about basically everything, but really want to play the game.
True. True.
So console
Yeah.
players have been wanting to have SOTFs since way back in 2016. So they never got to experience survival of the fittest. So
They are
now they're finally
starved.
yeah, they're being starved. So I am very confident that the numbers are gonna explode with console because we're getting it. I'm not. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but is my understanding it's gonna be crossplay between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all together, or is it just gonna be crossplay
We're
between PC and Xbox?
We're assuming it's crossplay between everything, but they have given us no confirmation. They just haven't given any confirmation of it not being crossplay.
Yeah. Hey, there's no info.
We're just hoping.
We
Yeah.
don't know.
Because
We're
right
hoping.
now, for example, Fortnite is crossplay between all systems, right? You
Mhm.
can do crossplay between PC. I not play with my girl way back.
Every game right now, like Apex as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Crossplay.
So it's technically possible. So it's technically possible just to do crossplay between all systems in your Unreal Engine 4.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it possible for wildcard though? Is the
Is it
question.
possible? Yeah, I mean, can I right now go play on Steam? Can I go play with a PlayStation player?
No, you can go play with an
No.
Xbox player, I think. Right?
You can play
Right
on
now, only with
Xbox.
Xbox. Yeah, you can do it with Xbox right now.
So, like, if you go on your official server Toast right now,
Oh,
you're
no,
up against
if you're on
Xbox
Steam,
players.
If you're on Steam, you can only play with Epic Games. You need to go onto Windows to be able to play
Yeah,
with Xbox.
Windows standard. Exactly, yeah. On Windows you can play with Xbox. That's it.
Yeah. So we'll see how that's gonna work out.
What do you think?
Also, we don't even.
What do you
But
think
also,
of
like, TSOTF
TSOTF mobile? That would explode as well.
That, yeah, I mean, that would be fun.
The mobile game is growing in
Yeah.
a lot of countries.
Yeah, I mean, you have Fortnite on mobile, right? You have like PUBG mobile. Like, I don't see why not.
So yeah, this is gonna add to this a crossplay. Assuming they do add crossplay, it's going to instantly start a riot of people asking for crossplay on regular ARK.
Yeah.
True. This is something
That-
we've wanted, right? Everybody wants to go to the Xbox spaces now.
That would be
Everybody wants to do it.
Yes.
Well, that would be in a perfect world. That would be really nice. But the console players don't realize that the PC tribes are way different to the console tribes. Because, like, I seen the streams. Yeah, I seen the streams of console players.
I thought
with,
you were
like,
gonna say better. PC players are
Mm,
better than
no, I don't want to say that.
console
No,
players.
no,
So
I didn't say that.
So all
It's
you
just
have
that they have like very different. Like, you have, let's say they have like their Ragnarok server. They're like, they have PvP bases around it, and it's just not just one mega tribe compared to PC. It's like, Alpha tribe, and it's like they have other people living in there, and it's still PvP. But then you have the PC players come in. If you do crossplay, they're just gonna steamroll every map because there's not a unified mega alliance compared to PC, and that is the biggest problem.
Didn't they
Like,
just
PC,
didn't they just split off like Xbox from Atlas PvP? They made like Xbox exclusive servers for Atlas. I think they
I'm not sure.
announced
I haven't kept up with Atlas.
they announced that like either yesterday or the day before. Because Xbox players were very unhappy with playing together with PC players.
Well, really comes down to the game itself. Like, Atlas is a whole different game where, like, they just it's just a lot of Xbox players would like disconnect the moment they render a base made by a tribe on PC because they added too many structures. But that's one of the main reasons. By normal ARC, I don't think that's a problem.
this is making me think like it might not actually happen. Where
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think PC players are still gonna have their own lobbies and their console's gonna have their own console servers.
So you
Like,
say we
like,
need to
yeah.
get a console now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
I
my
need to
that
get
is my main
TV too.
that is my main concern because it's like, yeah, they announced crossplay on the announcement, but they haven't been confirming we're gonna get crossplay on the release date. So that's my main concern. Like, are we actually gonna get crossplay or not? Because if we don't, there's like player base
And
on
we're
PC,
stick- yeah.
Steam. Yeah, it's
We're
not that.
still
It's not
gonna
that great.
stick with our 600 player base right now.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think there's 700 people on right now on Steam.
Yeah. It's been like in that that number. It only like decreased by 300 when it first came out with this new prototype. So it's like it's keeping like steady player base, but it's not. If they add crossplay, that would make it a lot better, right? But right now it's not. And we haven't even added the Epic players. Like, TSOTF is not available on Epic, so there's like a huge portion of people that only play on Epic. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
hopefully they add Epic for TSOTF at one point. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I
was
guess we're
the
wrapping
last
up
one?
on the last question.
Yeah, well, everyone. So now that mostly Survival the Fittest, like even the old one, they only have added things that exist only in normal ARC, right? And right now we're getting things that only exist in the normal game. But is there anything that you would like when it comes to dinos or creatures or water mechanics? Is there anything that you would like them to add to Survival the Fittest that does not exist currently in normal ARC?
In
Just anything that's just new that doesn't exist right now. I mean, it could be guns, it could be anything. For example, for me, I would like them to add just unique weapons that does not exist in ARC. Like, for example, like I don't know, a different pistol, maybe that just like maybe semi-automatic. That'd be cool. Or just like add like like a, I don't know, like a glider. That's not necessarily like the same glider we have in CTF. Like maybe like a glider that's like mechanized, right? So
Hmm.
things like that. Like, is there anything general? I know you guys mentioned in the last podcast we were talking about like the ability to revive your players. Is there something you would like, something like that?
I mean, we do have this, right? Like reviving your player by stuffing his mind into a dino. I mean, it is kind of something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was chat. I can't remember if he mentioned it on Twitter or if he mentioned it in someone's stream and chat, but they had developed a revival system, which they then chose to not add in favor of rather having the dinosaur as the way to
Hmm.
revive, simply because it's different. It's something new. It's not like every other battle
Hmm.
royale. Might actually
Like,
even have been an Icebox's stream, to be honest.
That's just a hard question. Um,
yeah. So like there's like I think you mentioned there's like a mechanic on Rumble that you said you wanted them to add, wasn't it? When we think about Rumble Rail or another, was it Apex? I'm trying to think.
I mean, they kind of brought up the RTS system from obviously RTS games, so I like that a lot. I think they just need to work on the RTS mode.
So what about this? I think isn't Fortnite or another game that's like you can do mini games or missions within the battle royale game?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you guys would like to have in the SOTF? You can do like some mini games within the battle royale game. Is that even
The only thing
something
I'm
you would like to have?
thinking of,
I
are you
think it
talking
would
about
be
like
fun.
bounties?
Yeah, is that
Because
bounties?
yeah, Fortnite does bounties, Naraka
Ah,
does
there you go.
bounties.
Yeah.
It's like you go up to this little like a NPC or a board, or in Naraka, it's like this floating scroll that you go up to, and you obviously activate it, or you channel it for a couple seconds, and it gives you a bounty. And then on the map, it actually kind of puts a circle in a general area of where your bounty is. And then if you go to that area, you'd be closer to them. And then if you find them, they have like this red thing above their head, or like just something that says that that's your bounty. Um, and then killing them gave you a really good reward, like a bonus. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of bounties. I don't know how about you guys. Like, that'd be really cool. I want to put a bounty on
Could
as well.
definitely be fun, yeah.
I mean,
one thing
after
we didn't talk about was events.
yeah,
I think events need to be added. That's one being maybe a bounty, survivor tracker. I missed that. In one of the SOTF mods, there was like a event called, I forgot the name of it. It was like anti-gravity. So people like jumped, and they still had to fall. There was still gravity, but it was like a small.
That
It
could
was
be
like a
fun.
lunar jump,
True, that,
and it
that
was
could be
fun
very
because in the old SOTF, people were jumping and floating, and people had long necks and stuff, so people had to shoot people in the
That'd be
air,
really cool. Yeah. Um,
or at least like
Gravity
if you're
event.
on foot and then the gravity event happens, and you can jump away from that Rex chasing you.
Although
Yeah,
I'm
just
just
like a.
imagining you're on the mountain and you're busy trying to flame arrow down this giga, and next thing it's the low gravity event and the giga's running at you, so you jump off the mountain and you start parachuting, and this giga just comes slowly floating towards you in the sky instead of falling down.
That's funny.
oh,
That'd
one
be,
I
that'd be
didn't
cool.
like the negative events that old SOTF had, which
yeah.
was like famine,
Oh, those were
acid rain. Like these are
acid
all
rain. Yeah.
negative things that killed players.
Okay,
Even
it wasn't negative. It was productive.
it was
Because
productive.
okay, this is the reason. So if you had harvest famine, you would be forced to go tame dinosaurs because there was nothing else to do. right? And if
That's true.
yeah, so and if it was double taming, you could either prioritize farming and crafting your resources or just go tame, right? So
Yeah.
then it's just based on decision making.
Maybe an event that's
Yeah.
That was more like a skill issue. Like a lot of the players that were new or like more casual, they saw the events as more negative rather than like this is what I can do instead. So
I mean,
that's why we call them negative events, because it just
I see.
but not everyone was Taos. You know what I mean?
no,
Yeah.
I mean, no. So, like, Mega Cult, for example, Mega Cult for me as a player who only went to Volcano was a negative event because I would lose HP there.
No, but someone like me who always went to Hot Mountain was
Exactly,
in
it's just
heaven.
perspective.
I loved Mega Cold up there.
Because he could regen HP and eat cooked meat, you know. And I was just freezing. I couldn't move for the 3 minutes it lasted. If I moved from the campfires, I'll just freeze.
But the question is, do we really want to have events taking away decisions from us how to play a game or in what direction we want to go with the game?
No, it doesn't have to be that. I think they at least maybe need to introduce like they have Dino crates, which is a point of interest. I think they need to add another one like Super Loot. Not like super like old survival if it is super loot, but maybe like it's just a half of that. Just that it is a loot drop that's gives just good resources or a lot of resources, explosives.
How do you guys feel about the resource cap that you have on gunpowder, for example? Does it limit your decisions on playing the game since you can only craft 2 C4 on you or 2 rockets instead of crafting 10 rockets and spending the entire game farming to prep for endgame? Should they increase the resource cap you can have on your person or no? It bullies.
Maybe a little bit.
I feel
just a little.
Yeah, like if it was a true sandbox and I wanted to play the game how I wanted, like I would get a Thyla or get any mobility dino and go hunt drops, make ammo, make rocket launchers so I can spam it at one army, then maybe kill the player. But I'm limited to only having 2 rockets and then having enough resources to craft another one while in a fight.
It really depends on.
I like the limit. I
would
maybe
like
just increase it.
Because there's a difference having 2 rockets than having 5 rockets. Because then, if I'm like you go the deer route or like TiiaAurora route, having 5 rockets,
yeah, that
you can
would
just
be
tear
a
down
lot.
someone's you can just tear down someone's army very quickly.
Yeah,
but 2 is like, you know,
you're limiting. I don't know. For me, you're limiting the decisions you can make for a Thyla player, for example.
I think it's more based on their weapons. Like for example, when you come C4, I think you can only have like what 2, 3 C4. But if the makers are gonna have like 10 C4, that's fine because you can see the C4 on the ground. But if you have 10 rockets, that's too much. But 10 C4 is like, yeah, you can technically counter the C4 a lot easier than it's countering the rocket. You know,
true.
It gives you. So I think it's more in my opinion. I would like to see the numbers increase based on what kind of like weapon needs to be increased. C4 definitely needs a higher number. Rockets maybe needs to be 3. Grenades maybe needs to change, or like bear traps. I think you can only put 1, 2 bear traps, right?
You only have 1.
1? Yeah,
One
see, there you
bear
go. More bear traps need to be added.
I have one more idea of stuff that's not in ARK right now, but that could be added. How do you feel about NPCs and tameable NPCs that go and fight with you? Getting like additional bullfighters, getting like people who have bowlers. Because I have seen net fighting.
Then it becomes Conan.
I have seen net fighting against NPC players, and him getting bowled over and over again was very hilarious. And I feel like stuff like this in SOTF would be fun, and they have the ability to add it.
They already have the code.
Or if they are not tameable, having like NPCs roaming the area and attacking you to just
wouldn't that
keep
be
you on
harder to
track.
tell if you actually find a player though? Because it's like, hey, I'm finding a player. Oh, it was an NPC the whole time.
You have a good example of this, which would be the Atlas sale guys. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know what they're called.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that.
Wait.
The Atlas
I have an
sale
idea.
guys.
I have an idea. In Atlas, I think it's a single player option only. There's an option in Atlas where you can have NPC encampments. So when you go to an island, there's like a little NPC encampment where like they have like a little building and like 5 or 6 manning different like static weapons and things like that. Maybe in
Mhm.
SOTF they can have little NPC encampments where you can go raid, right? Kind of like a mechanic in ARK, you go raid, right? Little NPC
Yeah.
encampments you can raid in SOTF that give you loot or maybe a
They
small
actually
crate
have
of
that
ammo.
on Fort. They have that in Fortnite.
And yeah, and
there
you would
go, see?
and you would have
They actually have camps of NPCs.
and you would
and you
have
kill 'em
like
and they
the
get their
yeah,
guns.
and you would have like the feeling that you're not like passively farming, but you were actively fighting something. Like even if it's not a player, but you still have like this feeling of like you got something done without having to risk too much.
You know what? Código Alex already did that in his Titan map when he has like NPC camps. So it's not something strange for him. It's like, hey Alex, you already made this.
In
Let's go.
before
Put it in
that's the next patch.
He can also add his little Jerboa fairy as well, so you can like get the little cinema crops, the original cinema crops thing. On his Titan map, he's got this little Jerboa with wings you can tame, which acts as like a backpack, jetpack thing.
Yeah.
Get one of those and.
But like
just go nuts at it.
NPCs would be fun, I think. It would also give like players that are not that good the opportunity to fight against someone without dying immediately. And maybe giving them also like some like PvP training, even if it's just an NPC.
It will remove some of the passive gameplay too.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm just fighting, killing dinos. But if I just like NPC encampments that they have their own dinos or they have their own encampment of weapons, that make it more interesting because then I see an encampment and they're all carrying like maybe shotguns or pistols, or then they have like maybe one Rex in there. Like that gives me a chance to have farm tokens, farm XP, but I'm also fighting.
I've been playing a ton of like Titanfall, and they have been doing it very smart, adding NPCs into the game together, also like who look very similar to players. So you still have like the feeling of constant fighting, even if there's like not that many players in the game, but you still see someone you can fight.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, be cool. That's actually a really good idea. I'm just gonna throw back to Alex, a DM and be like, "Hey, bro, I know you did this before. Do it again."
Next patch added NPC campments.
Oh, you know why one last one that I have. I know Alex
Isn't
did
ARK
this
2
for
gonna have that?
Yes, ARK 2 will have NPCs.
Yeah,
Encampments.
there's gonna have encampments. It's like not something strange to them. Like they can just like, we already have it in our upcoming game, and we already did it. One of our developers already did it, so they could do it. You know what I would like to see, and maybe not in the island, maybe in a new map. I know Alex did this for the server Arcadia, where they have like a rhino stampede going through a specific part of the map, and you could see the rhino stampede going through like in the kind of look like the Lion King scene, but you have like all the animals. So I would like to see something like that, but just like a random stampede of dinos going through. I'm like, okay, do I want to go through this, or I just happen to be on it, something like that. Events like Lego events like that just add more life to the map. I think that'd be pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, do you guys have any? Well, right now we're like at the end of the podcast. Is there anything in particular you guys want to touch on before we close it? Any last final thoughts?
What are you guys working on? Natural, what are you working on? What are you doing right
next
now?
100 days scripting. the
100
joys.
days.
What's your next
Yeah,
100
I see
then?
that.
What is it gonna be like?
It's Ark Omega. It's described as the MMO of Ark. It's a mod with like over 300,000 possible Dino combinations with like different classes and stats and rankings. And then there's different armor sets that you can get and different quests you can do
I think I've seen
inside
some
the mod.
crazy dinos in there. Some
Yep.
crazy looking ones.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yep.
Toast, I see you streaming 6-man.
Yeah.
SOTF modded version coming out.
Six-
SOTF Primal Fear.
Oh yeah,
SOTF
SOTF Primal Fear.
Oh my god. Yeah. What about Aurora? What have you been up to lately? I know you've been working on you run the ARK magazine, right?
Yeah,
You're an ARK
I work.
magazine and,
Yeah, I work on the ARK magazine. Trying to cover basically everything around ARK, from like opinion articles over like tutorials and just like info articles. But yeah, right now, like I mentioned earlier, we're also working on the website for if we ever get after action reports in TSOTF, that people can make their own tournament websites and can start like their own leagues, and maybe encouraging people to make a little bit more like like the competitive gameplay they're missing out on, that they can organize it themselves without like, let's say, forcing it on wildcard, because from my feeling, wildcard really doesn't want to go that route. So people having the opportunity, or me or us giving people like the tools to just make their own tournament and make their own league and organize stuff themselves.
That's good.
oh, good. What about you, Asa? What you've been up to lately?
I had some big plans this month for Survival of the Fittest. Things just got delayed. It
Are
might
you
go
running another
into
tournament?
yeah. It's just a tournament talk. It really depends on how the player base, like once console releases, um and if they keep adding patches and improving the game. The last tournament I did was with Omni. If you remember that?
Yep.
I was hyped to actually start talking about kind of like a cup, since it's winter time right now, like a winter cup and then a summer cup and things like that. And it was gonna take a lot of work, but I already had backing from the SOTF Discord with Talal
Yeah.
and Taiko. The people would be able to go to their Discord and actually sign up for these tournaments, and I was planning on having them weekly. Like I was willing to put in the time to do it weekly, and the people that qualified would then it's 3 weeks, so you have a chance to qualify for 3 weeks, and then on the fourth week would actually be the main tournament for the people that qualified. And I had plans like that. Tia and I even worked on something. I can even show it off right now. And it's this logo. So right now, back a long time ago, maybe a year, maybe 2, yeah, probably 2 years ago, there was this like cup. There was this cup where a bunch of streamers joined, and it was like sponsored by Noise, or I forgot who it was sponsored by. I don't know if you remember that.
I'm trying to remember.
It's like
But
Omni was in
oh
there,
yeah,
I was in there, Shakus was
I've
in
been by
there. There's a
by
bunch of
Snail
streamers
Games. Yeah.
on the island, and um so to have a reward for that main tournament at the end of the month for
Yeah.
the teams that qualified, we would write their name down. I had a whole system of how the tournament would go as well. I'm trying to open this And so it would be obviously sponsored by. We actually already had one sponsor.
That's pretty cool.
One sponsor was willing to put in a prize pool. And then we were waiting for a second sponsor, which would be G Portal, because we'd be running the servers from G Portal. And G Portal gives sponsorships, so that would go into the prize pool. And so I'm about to pull up this is a logo that we made.
I don't see it.
You just need to click on watch stream.
You have to click and watch stream.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Yeah.
This is sponsored by G Portal, sponsored by another Prog Noise. And this is like what we had planned.
Nice.
Obviously hosted by Omni would be streaming it as well on his stream, my stream. And then it would be every weekend. One of us would stream. We would obviously have a server with a password for the qualifiers every weekend, every Saturday. We would have 3 matches. 3 matches every Saturday to get, and then by the end of 3 weeks, we would have 30 teams for duos that month. And then at the end of the month, we have the main tournament, which would have the money prize pool from sponsorships. So I've been working on this. It just kind of slowed down. We're gonna wait till next month. That's what I'm waiting for. Console, and see how console reacts, player base. But this is in the works.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We even changed this to Winter Cup 2023. Tia helped a lot.
I'm pretty sure
with
Toes
this.
would be all over that, right, Toes?
I mean,
Think of tribes of 4. We need 15 teams by the end of the month. If we do 3 weeks of qualifiers, we would need to get 5 teams a week. Right? Simple. And then at the end, we would have 15 teams compete for that monthly tournament.
See. That's pretty cool.
And then people would sign up on the Discord, play TSOTF.
Oh, that's cool. I really wish you luck with that. Sounds like a lot of fun. Let us know when you're
Yep.
that ever happens. Because we're just waiting on console release, right? You just waiting, see what happens with that.
Yep, we're just waiting on console. We're waiting to hear back from one of the sponsors and hoping we'll get it by next month. Get it going by next month.
So I haven't been only been streaming. I've been really busy with like RL stuff. But I've been working on some YouTube videos. I've been messing around with like making more like comedy SOTF stuff because there's like a lot of situations. I have like a video called SOTF.exe, which I thought was really funny for me. So I'm trying to do more things like that. But I also been trying to start a tournament, but it's just hard because I'm also waiting for console release and see how the numbers go. Because I don't want to put like hundreds of dollars in this. Only gonna be Toes winning everything.
I mean, it's RNG now. When I won the Icebox tournament, you could net people off dinos, kill them. There was a little bit of skill. Right now, it's you take one bad fight, it's over. It's what I believe RNG. So until there's like more changes, I mean, you're flipping a coin on who's gonna win.
Yep, but it's always that's gonna be. I remember old tournaments. There's always this. People didn't want to fight, and if you go open up old Survivor League, that's the whole end circle of the ring. You'll just see 15 teams.
Everyone on
their army
on the edge,
and, all just on the edge of the entire circle. Everyone has their little army, not fighting.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
I think that was because the circle didn't close anymore.
it didn't
or
close.
It didn't force people to fight,
Yeah,
right?
there's
The circle
no
now forced.
reason to fight.
Yeah.
So it obviously this circle closes, so people are going to have to fight, but now they have to still increase the benefit of fighting. So there's no if you get in a fight and your dinos die or you're just left with one, there's no way to come back. And then some other team with their whole army is probably your next fight. You're not going to win. So then Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have one thought about like the player numbers and like events just around TSOTF. I mean, we do have like our own reach in viewers and community. So if we want to get like games going, we don't really need to wait for Wildcard to give us new players. We can just try to like activate our communities and make it like interesting for them, because I've seen like Net having like good numbers. The tournament Icebox had insane numbers. People were fighting because they couldn't get into the games. I feel like we don't really need to rely on Wildcard to just like bring new players in, because we have the communities to already fill the servers, and maybe even also like the reach to get new players interested, because if they see there's like a tournament and people are fighting to get into those tournaments, then they feel like, oh, that might be something interesting to look into.
Well, I
Yeah.
still like to see a Wildcard run tournament because that brings even more numbers.
Yeah,
right? And then those
that would
trickle
bring
down to the
advertisement.
communities. Yeah.
I'm not sure they do this, but like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're going to do that at all. It's
Yeah,
a
I don't-
prototype.
Yeah, I don't think they're
So
planning
we're just
on
gonna
doing
have to
any.
rely on community.
Yeah, for now, we just have to rely on community because I think they're just very hesitant to throw money at something that's still they call a prototype.
And also the money was what broke old SOTF.
I don't think it broke. It kept it alive way longer than it was meant to be alive, I think. Because without the reason to play, grind the leaderboards, to go into the tournaments, I mean, people would play it, but they wouldn't be playing 1,000 people every day. You'd have 100 people, give or take. Which is what happened when they removed the money.
I mean, if you look how the Survivor League went, like between the tournaments, like the people were just crazy because they wanted to go into the finals, and
I think it just trained them. I think it trained the player base. It was like the competitive ones and the non-competitive ones just playing together, and that's what reduced some of the numbers as well. There's like a lot of combinations as to why also TF died, and now compared to this one, and I'm pretty sure they try not to make the same mistakes.
Yeah,
they made
definitely.
with the one with this one.
Definitely.
So, as much as I would like to see them do morning tournaments, I think it's still too early for them to do it. But we'll see what they announce after console release, because we don't have a roadmap. We don't know what they're gonna do, right? So we'll see what happens with that.
But I still think, like, for us, like, if we organize stuff, for us it's content, and it can only help the game if we also do stuff on our own and not wait for Wildcard to do anything.
Pretty much, yeah. So
The
go ahead.
the thing I don't get is like console release is supposedly Tuesday, the 31st. You would think they would have spoken about it in the community crunch this past Friday.
Right, they didn't.
Right, they didn't. Well, I think Seth read it, and I think Seth came back from vacation, so maybe they're like, "Oh, we didn't tell you, Seth, we're doing this thing." And it's like, I don't know.
And I think they're also like working in like a new community manager right now, so there's probably a lot of stress going on.
They don't really talk to the community, man. I don't know. It's
I
weird.
mean,
They never
No.
show roadmaps. They never show where they want to go. It's just, it's there. Figure it out.
I mean, Jet has been very vocal and very active in the streams and has been talking to a lot of people.
In TSOTF,
Yes.
I agree. But based on previous experience from normal ARK, it's non-existent.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
think ARK
Like
is
the
I think
other ARK.
yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah, so
have.
like the normal
all the
ARK.
devs.
They probably
The
are not
normal ARK
allowed
is
to talk
like
about it.
Yeah.
That would be my theory. Yeah, they're not allowed to talk at
Yeah,
all.
100%. They're not allowed to talk
they
about
were
anything.
so way back in the days when ARK was in early access, they were more open because a lot of times I had podcasts way back in the day, but I even talked to had said on the stream, right? I had one of the environmental lead designers. I think it was oh god, I forget his name. But I had like people from the team just talking to me during their lunchtime on the stream, just like talking about stuff they were working on. And I was like, oh, that's cool, right? But now it's like if I
Yeah.
try to get them on anything, they're like, yeah, I'm not allowed to.
I mean, I remember like 2016 when you would stream ARK, you would probably, there was a high chance you would have like one or two devs in your stream that would just like explain stuff to you, what they worked on and how stuff works. That was normal.
And it was
Yeah, that
so
was
good.
and that was so good
Hopefully
for the
it's like
community.
that when ARK 2 comes out.
See, I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think
No.
that's gonna be like that. The only reason is because we already have these mega tribe mentality, mega tribe discords. We will ruin the ARC 2 game the same way
We
we
will,
will.
it's-
It's
Well, I
gonna
mean,
happen. Man.
well, that's the ARK talk. We don't we just don't know what they're gonna do with ARK.
We don't
overall.
know. We're gonna
We don't know.
still gonna be a
We'll
dinosaur
see, right?
game. Yeah, we'll see. But
We'll see. Like because we don't even know how PvP is gonna work on. For all we know, it's more RPG MMO ish rather than like
you're
survival.
right. But from what I get,
My thing,
cor-
going thinking about what would bring up. It's probably not going to happen, but if they can invent a new skin, just some cool skin but you can only get from Survival of the Fittest, but that skin would be on your Steam account, and you can actually now
Like the
have it
Bionic
for
Giga?
PVE,
like
like the Bionic
200
Giga,
wins,
200
Bionic
wins.
Giga.
Yeah. Natural doesn't know this is an inside joke.
Yeah.
Old Survival of the Fittest actually did this, Natural, where you had to have 200 wins in Survival of the Fittest to unlock the Bionic Giga skin. And that was promised, and people worked towards that goal, and then they never gave it out to those players that got the 200.
And that was when the Bionic Giga skin did not exist in normal ARC. So it was like it would have been this really rare item that only a few people would have it. But yeah, that was the
Yeah.
the meme, the main joke.
So if they invented a skin, just a Rex skin or some kind of a Spino skin, costume skin that you'd only get from ARK Survival of the Fittest, then that would bring official players or maybe some PvE official players that want that skin for their collection to actually work towards. And that would bring that player base in. I think that would
that'd be cool.
The Bionic Giga skin is something that's tilted me strongly because I play
Many years. You're not the only one, bro.
I play with Fisher Arc and I grinded those wins, right? I wanted the Bionic skin so I could showcase like how Mr. Dolphin has the tournament thing when he spawns in.
Yep,
I think
the
Icebox, you
trophy
have it too,
skin.
right? The trophy
Yes.
skin.
So only Icebox.
It's rare.
So only Icebox does not have like the only two items in the game that no one have it.
Yeah.
So I've been had so many people ask me to come to the PvE server just so I can spawn
Yep.
it in for them.
I had a PvE recently. Some guy who collects everything. He was telling me like he showed me he had your trophy dolphin. He even had like the silver one.
The silver one is
silver
more rare
trophy.
because those guys don't play.
Yeah. He had the silver one in his collection. He's like, I
Yeah.
paid 16,000 tech ceilings for this. Like, it's so crazy. And he's like, what do you want for this trophy? I'm like, he's so happy he wants my trophy. He's like, I'll give you anything. And I just gave it to him for free.
I invite Ice on every server I join so I can have his trophy in my base.
So if you're watching this bot, if you want Icebox skin or my skin, I'll just message us, I guess.
60,000 tech ceilings.
There's
right?
I think that
16,000 tech ceilings.
Yeah.
So that's the price, right? You 16,000 tech ceilings for a skin. I'll take that. Anyway, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you everyone for watching. don't forget to follow me at twitch.tv/Dolphin. Icebox, where can people find you? We
I'm
have
there,
your
somewhere there.
and
Twitch.tv/icebox.
Natural causes. I know you've been doing Twitch a lot recently. So what
Yeah,
else can
still
where else can
mainly
people find
YouTube.
you?
Twitch is just like the can find me on Twitch most days of the week. Otherwise, YouTube, natural causes, probably like
We'll
the
put
best part.
everyone's links on the description for the YouTube channel
Yeah.
for the YouTube
Okay.
video. What about you, Toes? What you been up to lately? Where can people find you? Just on twitch.tv
On Twitch, rarely. If I'm rating on ARK or not, kind of like that.
Are you streaming every day? Or are you doing
No. I was streaming every day and then I stopped for a bit because, yeah, reasons. I only stream actual rating now, so every now and then I go live and I'll stream ARK PvP.
Mhm.
But that's kind of it.
Okay. Yeah, I was in that situation too. I was just streaming only ARK rates when before TSOTF came out. So what about you, Aurora? You've been doing a lot of things lately. Where can people find your stuff?
Just look for Tia and TiiaAurora on YouTube. I do mainly YouTube streaming. I just do a side. And at the moment, not even ARK. So if you want to see ARK, then YouTube is the way to go.
Excellent. Thank you everyone for coming into the podcast. I hope we can do this again. We'll probably not necessarily be a SOTF. I do want to touch some normal ARK stuff in the future. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching and joining, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for the
Thanks.
invite.
Thanks. Thank you.
That was the
Alright,
end
excellent.
of the YouTube
That-
video.
that's-